Greetings, Diesel Funketeers. Tim Fielder here with the next week, the November 3rd, next week of the Diesel Funk Dispatch. I'm here live on LinkedIn. Yep. Instagram. Yep. Substack. Yep. Facebook. Yep. Let me do one last thing very quickly here. Hang on one second. We need to go. Come on. There we go. Sorry again. You all know how I am with the technical stuff. My sound, hello, appears to be working. Even though the mic grip kind of went to hell there, but that's okay. It's all right. Who is this calling me here? This is, all right, one of my colleagues. I have to call him later. Let's see here. All right. Yes, but we are live. Tim Fielder, Diesel Funk Dispatch. Let me lift this up slightly there. There we go. Okay, now we got that. We're going to share this here and copy our link. And now we're going to log into Tim Fielder here. And we're just going to copy paste that right there. Very good. So now we are live on the Tim Fielder Facebook page. TikTok, I was doing okay, but I have been suspended on TikTok. I think this Afrofuturist stuff is a little bit too hard for these folks, but that's okay. It's all right, you know. It looks like TikTok might be broken up anyway. I don't know. But I am back here with another episode of the Diesel Funk Dispatch. My name is Tim Fielder. Live drawing with Tim Fielder, November 3rd. It is now 5:13 Eastern Standard Time, which is cool. I can rock with that. Let me go back here and log on to Diesel Funk. Diesel Funk. This is good. It's an interesting thing here. Okay, there we go. All right, good. I think we're good there. Again, TikTok is kicking my behind. I'm very sad, and I thought I was good there. I was almost there, man. Couldn't apply because your live access is suspended. Try again in 4 days. So that means my live content does not meet the requirements, which is weird because it met the requirements on Thursday. But that's okay. Whatever. All right. So let's get to it here. We are about to get on. We're going to try to go for about 2 or 3 hours today. This stuff can be a little exhausting because you're going every day. All right. Someone has sent me a message on Instagram. Who would this be? Who could this be? We're going to turn that on. Okay. All right. So yes, this will be good to share here. I have the pleasure in my work to be affiliated with a bunch of very cool folks here. One of the institutions is the John Lewis Foundation. And my good friend Neil Perek says, I'm hoping you can share this vote message from the John and Lillian Miles Lewis Foundation. Working with them for the past year and a half has been a privilege, right? So, meaning vote tomorrow. Tomorrow is National Election Day. Many people, there are different elections happening all over the country. In New York City, where I am. So, obviously, if I have to see another campaign ad here, I don't mind saying that I'm voting for Zamdani. My son Max was the person who hit me to Zamdani because they're just things he does about affordability in this city. I know there are a lot of people like, oh, what are you talking about? It's already too expensive, blah, 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 and the landlords and the housing board and all that. But I know a bunch of people who are struggling just trying to make their rent because their rent is so high. So I think maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, but we will see what happens. I will be issuing my vote for Zamdani. However, you should vote for whoever you choose to vote for. But I wanted to put that out for Neil. Neil is partnered with Shri. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Shri Saravasian, I think. And their group is called Digimentors, and they put on this thing called New York Times Read Along, which Diesel Funk is one of the sponsors. And I wanted to make sure that I do that to show that. Okay, now let's get to this damn drawing here. So we start off here, you know, again, I work 2 pages at a time when it comes to Hi John. We have an episode that went up this morning, which is pretty good. And, you know, I've had a few people go like, man, I would hope that this character, you know, these characters, you know, the suffering of the hands of the oppressed, at the hands of the oppressed can fight back. And I had to tell the dude, yeah, just wait. So here we go. So we're getting into that now. What happens when you mess around with the wrong person, who can call upon for assistance and help. That is what I'm doing here. So right now, I'm just very quickly coloring this in. If I can, what I'll be doing a little bit today is I'll just spin out. The comic can get a bit tedious for me because what happens is when you're drawing those pages, you're trying to keep the momentum going, but it can be pretty tedious to me. So what I have found that is very helpful for me to do is to showcase what I can, get in and get out, and don't try to overdo it. That's what I'm finding that's very helpful for me. You know, it's an interesting scenario there. Okay, they got that there. Things here can get a little weird because they get these blacks go in really heavy here. Okay, we're gonna go here. I think we'll go here. Yep. Alrighty. So this is main character doing what he does. Again, if you guys don't want any spoilers, then just feel free to turn away. All right, let's go back here. Let's go to my Diesel Funk page here and close that up. Okay, I'm still live here. Let's turn this off. Okay, so for right now, I can hold on 1 second here. Let me turn this up. So yeah, one of the things that can happen here is I can see my chat from Diesel Funk. So that's going. So we're good there. I'll have my chat going here for okay, there we go, for Facebook. So we're good there. I'll move this over here. YouTube is going well. Got a good live stream going here. Although what I will do, because this is acting a little weird here, but that's okay. That's why we have all these damn screens here. So many screens, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna go here to view channel. We should see a live there. Yep, there's live right there. Okay, now good. We're going to now turn the volume down on this. Okay, good. So I should be able to see what's happening with my live chat here. As a matter of fact, we'll just do it like this. This will be good here. So I can see everything happening now. If any chat comes in, that'll be good there. LinkedIn. Hello, LinkedIners. How you guys doing? Always a pleasure to see the folks on LinkedIn who are viewing in. Kick and Twitch is still rocking, so we're good there. All right, with that, let's get back to this. All right, good. Let's take this here. Now, I know I generally will work in black, but in this particular case here, I'm kind of feeling like I need to, some of the blues were a little bit off, but that's okay. I don't mind that. All right, good. Now we got to go in here and get this guy's face here. Alrighty. Drop that down there. Boom. There we go. Yep. All right. Now, I've also been working on some new music for Hi John, ideally for these episodes, because I want the music to be sort of like with, whoops, what is that happening there? That's not good. Oh, I didn't know that was in the camera there. Sorry about that, folks. All right, all right, all right. Hey, look, let me get this here. Move that up. There we go. So now we can see the chat without obstructing the screen. Yep, sorry about that. I'm noticing like I didn't even see the screen. Like, oh my God, there's. All right, so anyway, let's go back here. All right, there we go. Get a little grimace on there. There we go. All right. All righty. There we go. There we go. All right, I like that. Want that to really be a pretty heavy grimace on there. All right, let's take that right there. His forehead isn't that big. For anyone who might be asking who is the kind of Hi John character based on visually, James Brown. Of course, it's James Brown. Combination of James Brown, Frederick Douglass. Yep. All right, so let me play a little music here that I have come up with. Some great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Hopefully this can pick up pretty good here. But what they are variants on the Hi John theme that have different tempos and different vibes. So check it out here. That's pretty dope, right? Pretty creepy, right? Hey, Kathy, how you doing? All right, so that was pretty good. But then I had one that's like an ending thing. So check this out. Where is it? Oh, well, I'm gonna play the one that's the closing song. But then I'll play the one that's like the really amazing one that goes with the sequence. Check this out. Let's have it really low. Watch this. That's pretty dope, right? That's pretty dope. That's the point I'm trying to do, keep it dramatic. But then you guys should hear this one right here, which is really going to be going on all week. Because I get these songs that sometimes, like that one's pretty sure is only like a minute, 45 seconds. That'll be for another part of the story. But this right here is for this week's story. And this entire song lasts about 5 minutes, which was good because it'll spread out over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And of course, obviously, I don't really publish on over the weekend. But anyway, oh, by the way, I'm going to be going to San Jose, California on Wednesday for UmojiCon. Looking forward to that. UmojiCon should go pretty awesome. Let's see here what's going on. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, they start sending the political ads out, folks. Oh my God, do they really start getting? I mean, we got stuff on our door, all kinds of stuff. It's pretty crazy. Let's see. Go here, bam, bam. Nope. All right, boom, bam, bam, bam. Yep. All right. Anyway, so we're still rocking here. Let's go back here and check and see again. Let's see, who am I checking with here? Then we will work everything out here. And I'll show you guys what's happening with UmojiCon. As a matter of fact, I need to, here we go. Nope, don't want that one. And we'll get it done eventually, but I need to put up my ad for UmojiCon. There's so many people who are kind of doing their thing. Here we go, promo images. So we're gonna go here. Let's go here to scrolling through this. There he is right now. So this is me here. This is guest panelist on the art of storytelling, comics as a community power, and I'll be on there with a few other folks. I am Tim Fielder, if I haven't announced that, visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist, New York City based. Kind of bouncing back a lot between New York and Atlanta as of late as my parents have gotten up in age. Thursday through Saturday, November 6th through the 8th at the San Jose Convention Center. I don't know if I've ever been to San Jose before. I've been to California a bit over the last decade or so. But at any rate, I will be on that panel. I will have just a handful of copies of the graphic history of hip hop, as well as maybe some posters, and I will be selling those. But beyond that, I will be drawing because I live stream. Hopefully, I'll be able to live stream from the convention center, where it was a San Jose Convention Center. If that happens, then I may actually find myself streaming all day, which could be fun to be able to do some stuff. If I'm selling, great, but for a lot of this stuff, for me, it's just going out and just being able to do the work. That's really, really what it's about for me. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. YemojiCon, pretty interesting. I think I'm going. At least we'll see. Something can always happen. But yeah, I should be leaving out on Wednesday. Wednesday, very early, and I should be there and be able to rock and roll and do what I'm doing. Anyway, back to this here. Oops, kind of did that one already. We don't need to save that one. We don't need to save this one. We need that one here. We need this one. Alrighty, good. There we go. One of the interesting things about working like this is that I was never formally trained as an inker or anything like that. My inking was always kind of heavily influenced by a lot of underground cartoonists, but I never really took formal classes towards learning how to ink better, which perhaps has been a shortcoming of my work. But as I draw now, I've become much more comfortable with my style and my spotting of the blacks. Works for me. May not work for anybody else, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, so we go here. Okay, that's good. Yep. Fantastical. All right, now. So I got that right there. It's pretty good. Let's erase that a little bit. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got this. So what we have here is a kind of a crossover. That's what's happening. So he's like that. I have to put the swords and stuff in his hands and stuff, but that's okay. We don't mind doing that. And then, of course, we will kind of like this here. There we go. There we go. All right, I kind of like that. I'm not looking for anything to be perfectly in proportion, but close enough. All right, there we go. Now this one here. There we go. Also, not trying. I'm trying to get myself to not sweat this stuff. Not try to be so slavishly. My work isn't perfect, so why try to be perfect? Right? That's another thing here. There we go. Yep. So this particular image here, this page will mostly be monochromatic, probably in red, just to sell the idea of what's happening, which I don't mind. There we go. All right, cool. That's cool. Now I might twist this up a little bit because that looks kind of wonky. I don't mind wonky. Turn that right there. See what's happening? Okay, that's good. Now we will go back here. All right, there we go. Yep, not bad. There we go. Yep. I don't mind the abstraction and the out of proportion parts of the body. Also, while I got a moment here, I suppose. Well, hold on one second. All right, good. So we got this here. That's great. All right, so we're good there. All right, so we got, now of course we have to put the swords and all that stuff in these shots here. Yeah, I'm liking the way this is looking here. Now, this one here was a little bit more abstract. But I think I still got to figure out what to do on that. I don't really know. But one of the things I will be doing here is this. Now I could leave this guy here like this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw him over. Because why not? He is being hung here, so that's why he's having such an issue. All right. There we go. All right, now here is I'm trying to draw sideways, so I need to do that. That's what I need to do. So what I'll do is I'll redraw his face, but I will keep his the noose and the body. Now again, I assume I've been getting strikes on TikTok. I know why I'm getting strikes on TikTok, because I'm doing work that's not very comfortable. But that's okay. That's part of what it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be able to show folks these. This is what part of what an Afrofuturist does, is you show people things that that might make them feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's why we do it. That's why it's about literally reclaiming the past. I get it. I totally get it. But that's not that's not the purpose. The purpose is to be able to reclaim. That's the objective. There we go. All right, so that actually works better here. Now, I could sort of redraw this, but we will see. We will see how it goes. We will see how it goes. All right, so while that's working, I'm going to play this new thing here. This is the longer variant. This thing here is freaking incredible. Let's see. Let's go here. Here it is. I think this is it. Love that off-key note. Pretty intense, right? All righty. So I think I feel pretty good about this. Let's go to view. We're going to reset this. So again, as I've begun to, I'll just show, let me just take a moment here. I've been working in Manus recently. A lot of folks might wonder what Manus is. Let me show you what Manus is. Manus is a very interesting tool that allows one to let's go here. We go here. There we go. All right, let's go to Manus. Manus. Where's, all right, here's Manus. All right, so I have subscribed to ChatGPT. I find ChatGPT to be interesting, right? But I also use Manus. I use the free variant of Manus. Manus is pretty good, and it's like it's a AI utility, but it's really, really quite interesting. So watch this here. So these are saber images for High John Conqueror. I literally downloaded these images, and I had the software basically output these renders that are in PNG format. Now, it didn't work as well as I would have liked, but what it did was it tried to give the images as a kind of transparent background. I find Manus to be very good. It allows me to do some interesting things. Like, for example, here, let's go to here. Look at this. So here is, I have horse images, right? What this thing was able to do is to isolate the horses in this shot. So if you can see here, this horse, right? And go here. I'll just click through all of these. So effectively what it was doing is took these images here, and this is from the app that I use on my iPad here. It allows you to have horses. That has all kinds of animals, really, which I'm going to need for High John Conqueror as I get further along into the story. I don't know if you guys saw the kind of zebra humanoid that I did on Friday. Well, you'll be seeing a lot more of that. But at any rate, so these are horse screenshots of the different horses, different angles. I'll be using this heavily for High John and for Black Prince. But it's tedious to go in and try to separate all that. So I was able to upload these images into Manus, and Manus would automatically remove the backgrounds. So it would isolate the horses. So I was able to use this as a template. It's a very, very effective way of working. It takes a lot of the drudgery out of this type of stuff. So this is the type of stuff that, I mean, if I had money, I would have hired someone to do, or I would have suffered through the process of spending hours and hours, which I did before I started using Manus, even on Black Prince. What it allows me to do is to take this project and to expedite, automate a lot of the drudgery, right? Like a lot of folks would say, well, man, you shouldn't use AI. This is how I use it. I use it to take out the drudgery, right? So in this particular case here, it's to separate the horses from the backgrounds, right? Because I'm using this as reference. And so, for example, horses here end up being these shots here, which I think I had shown you guys before. So those horses for these shots, this stuff all came from the app I was using on the iPad, making a silhouette, darkening it in, but I was able to separate them from the background using Manus. That's how I did that. So it works out pretty good. This is actually the image from today. Now, you guys are seeing this. Just to let you know, this is just for the folks who show up. If you're not here, it's all good. Again, part of what I'm doing here is showing how the sausage is made. But one of the things I'm doing here, you should know, is as I'm working, I'm also putting together the book, the comic, the graphic novel. Right now, I would say I'm probably, to maybe 4 pages in. Four, right? Four. But once this entire sequence is done, it'll be 10 pages. So I'll be 10 pages into the graphic novel, which I feel like if Hijun ends up, because there are actual multiple books that I've written the stories for, it's about 3 different acts. I don't know if each act will be 100 pages or maybe 2 acts will be 100 pages. But I do want this story to last for a little bit. And again, I'm just having fun with it. Again, 3 to 5 days a week. I did 3 days a week the first week, and then last week I did 5 days. This week here might be 5 days because there's some stuff thematically and dramatically I want to convey this week, particularly while I'm out of town, starting on Wednesday. So this will be pretty good to do. All right. But at any rate, so with this here, so those horses that you see in these shots here, even right there, that's all from Manus. Works pretty good for me. All right, so this is where we are now. We're on this one here. And this will be six pages in, I guess. Yep. And obviously, as I did this here, and this was something that works pretty good for me. All right, I like it. I don't mind the abstraction and some stuff. Again, this part here, the top part to the left, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. Like, I don't know if I'm going to, because I see the guy being kind of sliced and diced a little bit, which I don't mind him being sliced and diced, frankly, because I got different things, a lot of stabbings and all that type of stuff happening here in this section. That's fine. I don't mind that. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. Let's see here. How will we do this? Oh, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Yep, there we go. Okay. It's pretty good there. There we go. Ah, yes. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I think I see how I'm going to do this now. There we go. And I want the speed lines on there to show that a lot of these actions that are happening here are happening very, very fast. There we go. See? One of the beautiful things of doing this kind of work is Afrofuturist. I don't have to ask an editor permission to do it. Right? That's nice. That's what a really awesome awesome thing to be able to do. So in this shot here, what I'm doing is I'm having Hi-Jon kind of run through these guys. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this. Need to make this a little bit bigger here. Yep, that's great right there. Now, I don't mind this being a little bit more abstract, because one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to showcase movement. So if the abstraction to me is perfectly fine to be able to do here, that's perfectly fine. I'll make this right here a little bit smaller, because this guy here shouldn't be so dominant in the screen. He should be a little bit smaller here. So I can just take this. There we go. See? Right there, like that. Yes. Yep. All right, so here's the moment of truth. So we're going to do it like this. Yep, just like that. Yep. There we go. All right. Yeah, I like that. There we go. Yep, there we go. Ha, look at that. That's pretty dope. Like that. All right, now we're going to take this part here. We're going to make all this right here underneath be a silhouette. There we go. All right, now we want to just take this here. Right there. Yep, that's pretty good. I like that. Do want something to be a little bit sort of superheroic here. Right there. Yep. There's so much stuff you can get done in the darkness, in the shadows. You don't have to really spend a lot of detail. See what's happening there? That's not bad. Okay, so we're good there. So that's good. 2 wide shots. That's what I wanted. 2 wide shots, close up, and then that. Yeah, that's not bad. I don't mind that right there at all. Now, I could probably spend a little time if I wanted to, and probably put the noose in. But there's a part of me like I don't want to remake the wheel. Why remake the wheel if you don't have to? But what I will do is this. I will take this here, select that. I'm going to select this one here. Whoops. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deselect these elements here in his face because we don't need any of that. Alright, we'll do the same thing here. Yep. Okay, and then we'll do this one here. Now watch what I'm going to do here is I take this out. There we go. Got that. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the black and white layer here. If I turn that off, see how I turn that off and on? You can do Command C, Command V. Now I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go here. I'm going to move the opacity on that up. So you see that? Now that black line is there. So that's back there. That's good. That's good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here. I'm going to Command U, and I'm going to take the luminosity down to that. So everything now is black, pure black. You see? As a matter of fact, hang on. Let me do a little L. Is it Command U again? Let's go back down here so we can make it darker. Probably not, but we'll probably go here to tonal correction here. I'm going to go to level correction. And with this, I should be able to maybe see if we can make that a little bit darker. Hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Oh, what was that? That is a bug. All right, so go here. Whoops. Okay, I don't know why that's not as dark as I would like. But that's okay, actually. That's all right. Again, there's going to be abstraction in these series of shots here. So what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to go here, and I'm now going to merge these two layers together. So now these two layers here are the same. Okay, that's good. So I like that. I like that a lot. That's not bad. Now, here's where we go in with our toning. Well, there's a blue here. I don't know where that blue is coming from here. Let's go and see where that blue is coming from here. We got that. See that blue there? I don't like that blue. Let's go here. Boom. Bam. All right, it's the swords. We ain't worried about the swords. We'll get the swords in there a little bit later. Okay, hang on. Sword here, sword front, sword back. All right, I scroll up here. I think. Nope. This is all these shots here that are kind of toned and colored. I don't mind the abstraction that's happening. Again, I don't mind the imperfection in these drawings. That's okay. Totally fine with that. Again, for those folks who are joining, hello, Manu Chromatic. How you doing? Part of what I'm doing when I'm drawing is I'm showing how the sausage is made. That is what I'm doing. Showing how the sausage is made. But that thing there, I don't know what that is. Yep. Nope. Let's go here. Ah, there it is. Right there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, because that's disturbing me, we're going to take this and we're going to delete that. Okay, good. All right, now we have this happening here, and I'm okay with this looking a little janky because there's a lot of movement in the shot here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to here. Let me reset this here. Okay, so everything's there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Command Shift 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select right there as close as I can in the middle. Whoops. Messed up on that. Let me try it again. Command Shift 4. All right. And yeah. Okay, we're good there. So we now have that image screen captured. All right. So again, I use VizCom like a flatter, right? I use it to add color and rendering to my work so that the long, laborious work of putting this stuff all together like that, I can kind of work my way through it, right? Much faster. But I still have to color my drawing. Still have to go in and paint. Like even the top one is pretty close to what I want. I don't want to overdo it. I could go in and add some more stuff, but I'm kind of happy with the way I have to do something to the swords and stuff. But like this image here, I got to just highlights, fix a few tones. The swords are obviously out of whack. We'll get those straightened out as well. And then here is where we're going to do this now. So we're going to go here to right there. We're going to go to VizCom. I hope you all saw what I was doing with what's this thing? I hope you guys saw what I was doing with Manus. It's pretty good. What you're trying to do, what you're using technology for, is to make the absolute laborious parts reduce in tension. That's what you're trying to do, in my opinion. That's what you're trying to do. All right, we're going to go here. What is this? This is, I don't want to get rid of Manus. All right, we're just closing these here. I don't know why these are closing like that, but that's okay. All right. All right, we'll go here. All right, maybe the key is to close that one there. Let's open it back up again. All right, hang on one second, guys. We're going to go right here to Hydron Conqueror. All right, so here's the site. I'm still updating it. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this Tumblr site. The reason why this Tumblr site worked really nice was because it had this thing called Simple Web Comic was the theme for it, and it worked really good. All these things here are the stuff I did years ago. See, I wanted it to look kind of antique-y, that kind of thing. So go to next, right? And right now, of course, I have to update all of this because it has to be updated manually. That's the one thing that's not so fun about this. But if we go to our first here, I mean, I don't know why that is. Okay, let's go to first. Let's go to latest. Okay, so it's sort of moving, but I'm going to eventually probably just replace this. But right now, the primary viewing area you can watch this stuff is on Instagram. So we go here. Instagram and YouTube. You can go to YouTube. You can see the site. Let's go here to Instagram. Okay, come on, Instagram. Here we go. All right, so you can go here and you can tap right into where, okay, someone has communicated to me. Who might this be? Oh, these are people looking at that type of stuff there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to Hydron Conqueror, and we'll just type it in here. Do a search. Okay, I want to do the search here. Okay, oh, well, no. Let's see here. Why is that not doing that? Why is that acting so weird? Is celebrity over? What are they talking about here? Oh, yeah, well. All right, so I'm not even listening to this. I can tell you what's happening. What's happening here is that films, right? Look at this stuff. These things aren't making money anymore, right? And they're not making money because no one's paying money to go see these movies. No one wants to get fleeced for $100 for popcorn. I went in. We have a container. A little collapsible plastic container we bought off of Amazon, I guess about a year ago, and it makes fantastic microwavable popcorn. It doesn't burn. You put it, set it on popcorn. You maybe want to put it in for extra minutes, just make sure everything is cooked thoroughly. And it makes fantastic popcorn. Why would I spend hundreds of dollars to go see films, get fleeced with popcorn, right? Get fleeced with soda, And I love going to see movies. Movies are awesome, but I can't handle the finance. It's like if I was gonna spend money, I could maybe average comfortably going to see one movie a month, maybe, maybe. But that's because I'm running the business. I gotta be very careful about how I spend my funds. Uh, but right now where we are, it's like if I want to see F1. I never saw that with Brad Pitt and Danson Idris, who I hope is the next Black Panther. Right? It's on Apple. What is it now? Or is it next month? Well, just wait. I already paid for Apple TV, so it's not like the movie's not making money. It's just that's just where that is. So my theory goes, well, these things should apply not just to films, but also to comics. I think. I could be. That's why I created the Comatic format. I've been communicating with with several people now about Comatics and what they are, and how Comatics are effectively the middle ground, at least physically, in terms of technically what they are. They're a hybrid between animatics, which are sequence images in time, and comics, right? So they use the language of comics, but they are sequenced in video with audio, no motion, just sequence images that can be supplemented by audio. And you put those two things together, and I call them comatics. Now, here's the interesting thing about that. Although storyboards and animatics can be used as production procedures for film, for animation, a comatic is its own form. It's like animation. It's its own storytelling form that is suitable or can be suitable to a reader or a viewer. But the difference is, it's unlike a motion comics, like animation or like a previs, they deploy motion in their storytelling. Comatics do not deploy motion. Comatics deploy sequence and timing. And that's why you have this. Now, in this particular case here, guess we'll go to VizCom here. And we will now, hello there, Irinki, I guess that's your name. Forgive me if I butchered your name. Thank you so much for showing up for a few seconds here. All right, we're going to create a new file here. Start in Studio. And we're now going to find the image that we had. We're going to drag this in here, and we're going to get the image, the entire page. I could do one image at a time, but I don't want to do that. I want to try to have it all bogged down. See that right there? So that now that full page goes in. Sometimes I do one page, sometimes I do multiple pages. Well, sometimes I do one panel, sometimes I do multiple panels. That's what I do. So I'm going to hit describe here. So it's going to start describing everything here. All right, let's see how it does. Let's see if it describes it. Bald male suspended by coil rope with a heavy chain. We're going to just say coil noose. We want to eliminate this noose. Surrounding muscular martial artists in dynamic foreshadowing action poses, inked finish. We're gonna say muscular suited man surrounding. Okay, let's go here. All right. Muscular man in suit attacking white robed figures. Now, I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see. Now, in theory, I could have separated the middle section as the one thing, right? And I could have done a whole thing, separated the outer images as one thing. But what I'm doing, I'm keeping it all together. suspended by coil, smooth skin, frontal close-up, bald male head suspended by coil noose, smooth skin, frontal close-up. Okay. We're going to say night. I'm going to go nighttime, dusk. We're going to say 8 p.m. Dusk time. Then we're going to go photorealistic, cinematic. However, what I want to do, and again, I never use another artist's name when I'm doing these type of things. I'm trying to describe what I see in my head, how this should be lit, right? I'm going to say ink finish dust time. I'm going to say let's say bluish feel light with white edge lights. Okay. We're going to say dark photorealistic cinematic. Okay. So we got that. Now we're going to hit generate. Let's see what happens. Now, I can tell you, even though I chose a color, I add blue and things like this, this is all going to be monochromatic. Now, you'll notice here, again, when you don't put in the ethnicities, this is what's happening. See what's happening here? It's actually, I mean, not bad, but it's got this, it's supposed to be a black man, but here was a, hello, Dr. Walter D. Grayson, the co-author, the writer, co-creator of the graphic history of hip-hop has joined us. Hello, Walter. How you doing? Anyway, so this is what's happening here. Now, in this particular case here, it's made the white man, the black man white. So I have to go in now. That's it. We're going to say bald, African, American, male lead suspended by coil noose. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. So what's happened here is changed his skin to white pale. Fascinating. But I will say, what it has done is made this guy's face here come through pretty strongly here. Let's go through what's happened. Oh, wow, look at that. That's amazing. I'm going to add that to it. Let's go here. Oh, that's great. Look at that. Oh, my God. That is, guys, I just have to say, again, this stuff is following my drawings. Look at this stuff. What? My God, man. It's kind of frightening to see, but at the same time, it really is quite. Look at that stuff there. It's actually predicting. It's sort of anticipating something that's happening, right? So we're going to say bald African American male head suspended by coil noose, smooth skin, frontal close up, surrounding muscular man attacking white robed figures. Okay, that's good. Muscular man in dark gray suit attacking white robe figures. Let's generate it again here. Let's see what happens. This is going to be interesting. All right, it's 6:23. We're going to go for about another 15 minutes. Then we will start switching to a little stuff here. Well, interesting. Let's add it anyway. It's very abstract. I don't mind the abstraction. No, yet sort of. Oh, that's interesting. We will add that. Let's go here. Let's see what's happening. All right, some of this stuff is quite fascinating. I don't know if I'll use it, but this is good. Now, here's one more thing we're going to do here. And you're going to see how, even though I have this set up this way, it's not necessarily, on one end it would be like, oh God, this is not working out well. But on the other end, it actually is because it's allowing me to do some things, right? Now, watch this. I'm going to change the lighting on this. It says inked finish. I don't want inked finish. I'm going to say very dark. All right. Let's generate some more here. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Oh, I'm kind of liking the way that's lighting. Yeah, that is interesting. Oh, now that's interesting. All right, let's go here. Okay, this I'm going to add this one. Again, some of this abstraction works. Again, this is why when I render this type of stuff out, what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the rendering in here and I'm applying it to drawings, because right now it looks very abstract, which is fine. That's how you want it to look. But if you apply this, like for example, I'll show you what's happening. So I'm going to close this here. So let's take, say, this shot here. No, yeah, let's take this shot. So watch what happens now when I move this. This is the ink drawing. See, that's the ink drawing. See that? Watch what happens when I go here to a multiply. See what's happening? See how all of a sudden the ink lines in there make everything, because then everything becomes clearer. Everything becomes clearer. You'll pop some stuff on this, like say, for example, you pop some monochromatic elements on that. Then you got some. You're cooking with gas. Then, okay. Anyway, so we're going to try this. We're going to go HJ Clan Melee. Yeah, he's going crazy with it. Let's see. Let's go here. This is good. File. Export PSD. All right, I'm going to minimize this here. Let's check in on our streaming here. Let's see what's happening. I think we're still rocking and rolling here. Boom, bam. I'm disappointed with TikTok. I thought TikTok was working. Very disappointed. But you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? All right, so we're good there. Okay, Tim Fielder did share the reel. Haha. All right, we got here. So YouTube is still rocking. YouTube is rocking there. Let's refresh this here. Refresh these suckers. Refresh these suckers. All right. Good. All right, feeling pretty good about this. All right, great. Kick, still kicking. Twitch, still twitching. Tap in, got you for life. What does that mean? Where's W Deal? I don't know who W Deal is. How you doing, W Deal? Substack, still going. Instagram, still going. LinkedIn. Hello, LinkedIners. How you guys doing? It's always so happy to see. Let me refresh this here so I can see what's happening. All right, we're moving. We're moving and we're grooving. All right, let's check this out here. God, man, TikTok. What in the world is going? 4 days I have to check in? It's crazy. Why would you do that? Anyway, whatever. We keep it moving because we have to keep it moving. All right, guys, so let's check it out here now. What we're going to do is we're going to go here. I want to go to I want to find Photoshop, baby. We need to go all the way up here. There we go. So those images tend to be at the top, and that would be the latest image. Hang on. Hang on, baby. Hang on. Just gotta scroll through. Hang on. Let me just do it this way. Go through faster. JPEG image. There we go. All right, so we're going to right click over. Well, no, we'll just drag and drop that right in Clip Studio Paint. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're going to turn these guys off. This is my process of how I work. We select these guys here. Well, I'll go here and I'm going to go to, it is set to multiply, so that's good. Over here, I'm going to make Command C. We're now going to go here, like right there, because that is the one. Well, hang on. We want to go down here lower. Yeah, that's the one we want. And then we're going to go Command, let's go underneath that, actually, Command V. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So we're going to grab here, we're going to grab all of these guys that I just imported in. We're going to move them over here. See what's happening? Now, again, we're not looking for an exact match. We're looking just for close. Very, very close. All right. Very close. All right, this is going to be interesting here because the sizing is a little bit off. Hang on. Well, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hang on. Let's go here. Okay. All right, now let's go here. All right, not bad. Okay, there we go. So you see what's happening, how I'm moving everything into place. Doesn't have to be perfect, just close enough. Now I need to move this down just maybe right there. Yes. All right, so that's close enough. Not perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to be close enough. Now, I'm going to turn this off. This is our actual artwork here. See our artwork? So we want these lines to be on top of our artwork. So I can go here. See what's happening? Now, let me go all the way up to that guy. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click here. So what I've done now is I've selected outside of these boxes here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn these guys on. I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go backspace. So what it just did is it eliminated all of the graphics outside of those boxes, right? So that's pretty good. Again, I'm not going to use all of these. It's just that I removed them, so now I can decide, okay, I like that layer looks good, that layer doesn't look so good. And I also like this kind of darker background on here because this is supposed to be getting a little bit later at night, and some of this stuff, I don't know, it looks like pork there. That's kind of weird, but at any rate, let me do one other thing while I have a chance, actually, in fact, here. I have to take a bathroom break in just a moment. Yep. All right, there's the swords. I think I might leave that for what it is right now. Okay, now, here's the moment of truth. I like the light coming there. That light is pretty good, but I think what I want to do here, and watch what I'm going to do here just as I get down to this. So we can see this. I'm going to take this particular tool here. This is very good here. That's very good. That's actually very good. And I'll explain to you why it's very good. Because these particular images, particularly the fight sequences, I don't want them to be multicolored. I want them to be monocolored. So it's going to be red, regular color, regular color, red. So all of the head shots are going to be in color, but the fighting is going to be in red. Now I could make all of it red too, but for right now, this is where we're going to stick. Okay, so let's see here. I kind of like, let's turn this one off, right? I'll come back to this and I'll show you what I'm doing here. So here, okay, this one here is not good. That's not cutting it. That one there is almost cutting it, but this one here, no. That one there, no. But I will say, however, that the middle parts here are okay. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go here to this one here, and I'm just going to keep these guys. Command Shift I, backspace. So basically I got rid of those other images. I'm going to keep this one. Oh. Actually, there's something about that one that kind of works too. So let me do this. I'm going to click here. All right, so I'm going to go Command C, Command V. So what I've done here is I've kept this one as well because I think that middle ground, that middle layer there kind of works. But everything else doesn't work. So I'm going to delete this one because we don't really need that one. Right? So we go here. Now, this looks actually kind of cool. On the right, they look kind of cool. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to select these guys here. Right? I'm going to go Command C, Command V. I like that because I like the way the light is kind of hitting the face. And he's a little bit obscured, so that's all right. So that's good. All right, let's go back here again. Yeah, these are interesting, but they're a little bit too much. But I'm going to just hold that for a second here. Now we go here. Now, if we go here, this one, yeah. I suppose I could keep this one here. I'll show you what I mean. I suppose I could keep this one for now, but I don't know if I like it. Okay, we're going to go here. So now Command D, we're going to get rid of this one. Hello, Power Smith. How you doing? We're going to go here. Now, this one here is interesting because the white sort of works there, but it's just too bright. It's too bright. It's too bright. As much as I like it, it's a great time of day, but it's too bright. Yeah, that's just too much here. So we go here. That's close. This one right here is the one I think that works. That one works. This one works quite nicely. So we're gonna keep, let's see how we're gonna do this. We're gonna keep, yeah, the middle sections here don't work so well. And that's okay. So we can go here. All right. So you see what's happening? What I'm actually doing here is I am deleting the parts that work and keeping the parts that do work. So I think this tone here works because it retains the kind of robe thing happening, right? I might get rid of one of them. That one there I sort of think works a little bit. Let's see, if I choose between this one and that one, I would probably say that one works. So we're going to delete this one here. Okay, good. Now if we go here. All right, now let's check and see if this works. So go here. Yeah, that one right there, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, I could turn it, well, I could probably use a mixture of it. Let's move this one up here. Let's move it up. Okay, so we could use both of these here if we wanted. Just erase certain parts, keep certain parts, erase other parts. All right, so let's turn these off 1 second here. Let's go here. Yeah. I mean, I like the white parts in here. They kind of, the robes kind of work. And the suits work for sure in these. I mean, they really, really do work. They really do work. All right, so here's what we're going to do here. We're going to take this. We're going to go. All right, so that's interesting. All right, let's stick with this one right here. We're gonna stick with this one. All righty. We're gonna stick with that one. Now, I like the suits here. I think the suits there are dope. They have that kind of energy to them. Right? So we're good there. Then this one here, the whites on here work. So I wonder what would happen if I took this here. I mean, because the suits there work better, but the whites here work better. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's make sure we got that one right there. Yep. All right, so we got this one here. And this one, you can't even really see it, so that's okay. So what I'm going to do here is go one by one. All right, so I like in the bottom right, I would prefer that one there. I think that one right there looks better. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this. I'm going to erase this here. See how that right there comes in there? That's not bad. Not bad. All right, we good there. All right, that's good. All right, let's check and see what's happening here online. All right, 642. We're going good. Actually, I will. Let's go see what's happening with our insights here. Okay. We had 17 views. Not bad. Not bad. We're getting there. Getting there. So I've been doing a little research on things here and how I'm working. And one of the things I think I'm going to start doing is after a period of time, I'm probably going to start engaging in paid ads. Because I think that what's happening is good. I like my viewership, like, you know, because I have the, you know, I'm not, you know, hundreds of thousands of people. What I have are people who dig what I'm doing, and that if that's a few dozen or a dozen, that's fine. But I think that in order for me to get to where I want this particular Comatic to be, I need to start engaging in paid ads to promote the project. I'm not trying to sell anything right now. I'm just trying to give this away for free. But the only way to make that happen is I have to work towards getting this stuff done sooner as opposed to later. That's what I feel like I need to do. But that's just me. That's just me talking. Me talking. Okay, so we're good there. All right, so I'm going to go back here. All right. So that's him. Yeah, I like that right there better because that adheres more towards what we got. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here. You're going to see what I'm going to do here in just a moment. I'm now going to move his skin tone back in between the lines. Again, the thing that the software is doing is following the line work in my drawing through a utility called edge detection. It's detecting the drawing and it's applying what it perceives as a sort of whoops. It's applying what it perceives as a sort of what it should fill in. In this particular case here, you know, I've described it as dark skin, right? That's the type of rendering that would take an absolute century to do. But now I don't have to do that. Now I can just go in, tweak it. Some of it I'll keep. Again, I'm not trying to overly I don't want to do High John overly rendered. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. All right, let me just go here because this is a little weird here. It's like a line, that line art. It's like a cut or something. Get that there. All right, now we're gonna go here. Now we want to go here, right here. There we go. See? Move that. Okay, that's good. Now I might decide I want to keep this in color, but for right now we're good where we are. For right now, right? Now, here, look at that. Isn't that great? All right, now let's check it out here. So I'll go back and do the guy's head in a bit. Just right now, look at this. That's pretty good. Now let's see here on the outer and top. Yeah, I think this one here is okay. This one here at the upper left, yeah, that's kind of okay too. I just need to color a few things. The abstraction is all right. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, we're gonna leave that to where it is. Okay, no worries. But what I will do, all right, let's take this. Yep. All right, I kind of like the white there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say this is that one. We're going to keep this one here, I think. Great. That one there, let's turn that on and off. I think we're good. So let's see here. We're going to go here. All right, I kind of like that one too. But there's something about the light. All of them have interesting things happening to it. Wonder what would happen if I took this here. Let's move this down here. Yep. So, wait, is that what we want? No, we want this right here to be up. Yep. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to get rid of these guys here in the middle because I don't want them there. Oh, hold on. See, do we want them or no? Yes. We want those to be gone. Okay, so those are gone. All right, so now, this is our tones for that. And we'll go in and do the eyes and all that. And I want to try to finish this in the next few minutes so I can move on to other work. Let's see here. Let's go here to... wow, okay. All right. Let's see how we're going to work this here. I kind of like the toning here. Again, I could make all this gray tone and put it with red, but we'll see how it works. Let's just keep the color for now. All right, so we are here. That's good. Here. All right. I think what we're gonna do here. Watch what I'm gonna do. So you all see that right there? Let me show you what's happening here. So you see these tones? So what's happening here is the suits are good, but the cloaks, that's where we're having issues. But the light on his head here is just so very interesting. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this here. All right, hold on. Let's take this. Yep. That's on, off, on. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to erase this. Watch what happens now. I can keep some of these tones but what I'm doing here is this. All right, so it's allowing the white from the other piece to kind of shine in like so. There we go. Let me get rid of that. Okay, great. I like that. Now let's see what happens. What if we do this? Okay. All right, not bad. Not bad. Look at that. Not bad. So let me just smooth this. See? All right, now what we're going to do is go in here and just tweak just a little bit. See? All right, I like that. That's hot. I like that. See how that gives us a little of abstraction? Now, the color's off, but that's okay. We can modify that color. Now, this one here, so I like the light. Let me turn this off and on. I like the light here. Yeah, the light is definitely better there. On his suit is horrible on that one. Suit here is dope. The difference is his skin. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this. I see what I need to do. All right, so what we're going to do here is this. There we go. See? Yep. Yep. Okay, great. Now, this needs to be a little white here. And I'll show you why in just a second. Because we need that white from the cloak to show. All right, now here we're going to go in and add a little gray to this suit. There we go. Right there. Okay. Yep. Like that. Now we need to darken up this background right there. See how now that puts him within the shot? And then we're going to go in and add some highlights, but we will be okay. So that's good there. Now here's where it gets really weird. I like that, but what we got to do is we got to add a little of that on here because he is All right, we're going to take this a little bluer here. This would be like blue jeans that he's wearing here, this guy here. I make it a little bit darker here. There we go. Oh boy, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. All right, go here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just darkening up his shoulder there a little bit. All right, so that is not bad. Not bad. Now we need to darken up his suit here. I'll show you how I'm going to do that in just a moment. See? Yep. There we go. Alrighty. So this white here, we'll leave that the way it is. Now, I've got to tweak some things, but that's okay. We can handle that. Let's go here. There we go. So you see what's happening here, how that's now evened out. But let me take this here. Smooth that in there just a little bit. Smooth that up. All right, now here's where we take another gray. You'll see what's going to happen here in just a moment. Right there, gray here. Here. Let's take that a little bit darker there. There we go. See? So that's pretty good. Now here, I'm going to take these pants here. I'm going to make them a little tan, like so. A little bit darker there. And see, and it's okay if these turn a little wash, because again, the holding line is there. High John was designed to have a holding line, unlike my other stuff, which it's been, you know, fully rendered. I'm not trying to do that this time. I'm trying to do something that's not going to kill me. All right, go here. All right, let's put this boot here. There we go. Yep. That's pretty good. All right. So I think I'm good here. The only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little gray here. Maybe just like that. All right, great. Now we're going to go in here. Yep. See? See what's happening? Let's make that a little bit darker. Yeah, that's the beauty of this type of kind of washy type look. Now, so you can see here it's a little bit off, but that's okay. That's where we now go in with these tools. Watch this. Oops. We go in with these tools right here. Yes. Watch this, guys. See what's happened? So that render sort of blends into the shot here. See what's happening? So I'm just tweaking this stuff in. And again, I don't need it to be perfect. I needed it just to conform relatively close enough. There we go. All right. All right, let's go to this one. All right, I need to find out where that one is there. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go here. So all I'm doing here is just knocking these tones more consistently in place. See what's happening there? Not bad. So we'll just tweak these right here. There we go. Okay, not bad. Not bad. All right, let's tweak here. All right, we need to go here. There we go. See? So you see that kind of overlay there that's kind of off a little bit? I can go in and fix that. See? All right. All right, that's not terrible. Not terrible. All right, good. So I think we're good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge all of these guys together now because it's time. It's time for these gentlemen here to be merged together. I'm going to right click. I'm going to merge, select the layers. So now all of these here on one layer, and I'm okay with that, right? So I have one of two things I could do. I could either right click over this, or I can drag and duplicate this. Now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go Command U. Watch this. Saturation. So you'll see everything here is kind of gray tone now, right? And that's fantastic because the gray tones, you know, they don't read as they read as different tones, different colors, right? But watch this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to go here now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do Command U, and I'm going to take the luminosity down to black. And now I'm going to go here, right there. Actually, in fact, what I'm going to do is select this here. Yep, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an airbrush here, but I'm going to set that to multiply. So right now you can't see anything because these things are black. But watch what's going to happen. See what's happened? Now we got a kind of a I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should I stick with the red? What do you think? Should I stick with the red? That's looking pretty good to me. And so here now, see what I'm doing now is I can go in and I can just erase parts of the parts that need to work. So here, see, we can go in and add things here. Kind of the white there is sort of happening. See? It's not bad. Not bad at all. And I can go in and add things on there if I want. Yep, not bad. Now, another thing I can do. I mean, that's pretty daggum good there. I like that. All right, so not bad. I kind of like that kind of overlay there. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that, but if I was going to stick with it, I would do this. Let's do this here, and then take a little of this here. Now we're going to go with a little point here. Oh no, I gotta actually add a layer to that. I'm sorry. See what's happening? So you see what's happening there? All right. So you see what's happening? How now you can see like that because that hard line is there and it's kind of defining things. So that's one thing I can do. I can do that, right? Which kind of works. Now, if I want to, I can tone that down. So right now that red is pretty extreme, but I can take the saturation down. It kind of works better. Yeah, it kind of works better with the blood red. I don't know if I'm going to do this, but we will see. Now, the other thing I can do is I can do this. Watch this. Yes, this, as a matter of fact, that is. Sometimes you want to do things, you think, man, if I do it that way, it's going to have an issue, blah, 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 blah. But there are other things you can do. You can have a little bit of both, and I'll show you what I mean. So first of all, we'll go here to our sharp edge here. We'll go here. Wait, hold, wrong one. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. There we go. Again, the reason why you use this tool is because what it does is it reduces the amount of wear and tear, and it allows you to tell fully rendered stories much more quickly. Now, what I recommend painters, I was just talking with one of my friends the other day, who's like very prominent in the illustration industry. And of course, like most people, he's pretty distraught over what's happening in the, with AI and everything. And his feeling was like, he feels like this technology will get rid of jobs. My response to him is absolutely. It's absolutely going to get rid of jobs. That's what every disruptive technology does. I said, but what it's going to do, the thing that no one wants to talk about, understandably so, because it's so frightening out there, is that it's going to liberate a lot of people who normally would never have started a business. It's going to allow them to suddenly be able to operate in a space where they can literally animate their own films, draw their own fully rendered books. That's the thing that no one wants to talk about. It's like, no, this technology absolutely is going to disrupt, but it's going to disrupt in such a way where it's going to allow people who never would have had the opportunity to rock. It's going to allow them to rock, right? Because let's be honest, how many talented people are there out there who never ever get a shot? They never get in. They never got in. They never got in. They did everything that they were supposed to have done right, but they still never got in. It's because the system was never set up to accommodate that. So in a sense, what's happening now is, let's just go here, boom, a little bit there. What's happening now is yep, I know what I'm going to do. All right, now you guys might ask, okay, what is he doing here? What is he trying to do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the shots with him red. With the man here red. See? I can do that. How that comes through. Now let me just blend just a little bit. I think this thing on his shoulder here is a little bit too harsh. Okay, great. Great. Now we need to go in with a sharper point. Let's go over above this here, and we're just gonna go a little bit. See? And again, I'm not trying to have this thing be fully rendered, but I do want some sort of there we go. There we go. Yep. Yep. Oh, I like that. That's nice. There we go. Okay, wow, look at that. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna have to finish some of this stuff later on tonight, but we'll get it there. So I don't want this, and I don't want that one. Okay, so now I'm gonna take away this. Okay. All right, so now we're pretty good. So what's happening here, as you can see, the parts here where the red, that's going to stay in place. I like that. I like that. But one of the things I do want to do here, if I could. All right, see, that kind of works. So that red, it'll be regular color, red, regular color, red, regular color. Well, regular color, red, regular color, regular, you know. So each line will be normal color, red, normal color. And this is going to be 3 days. Just this one page is going to be 3 days worth of content. So I'm okay with that. Now, here's the other thing I need to do. So that is not terrible. That's pretty good. I can rock with that. I can sort of rock with the skin stuff here with the gray tone. But I think what I gotta do here, let's reselect this. All right, so I think what I gotta do here is I gotta take, let's do this. We're gonna say Command C, Command V, okay? So we're gonna turn this off. We're gonna go here. We're gonna delete these, right? So basically what's happening here is the middle section is good. I'm happy with that. And it shows basically this horrible thing that's happening. Okay, great. All right, now what we want to do is we want to move this down here. Okay. All right, so that kind of sort of works there. That kind of sort of works. Now, we got our line. See our line work is there? See how our line work holds everything in? Not bad. Not baddie, man. Not baddie. Not baddie. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go... Okay. I mean, that's not terrible. Not terrible. But I think we got to do some interesting... We got some things we got to do with this. All right. Now, I want to use these swords, but I think this sword stuff gets really, really tedious. Unless I stop making it tedious. That's another thing. All right. So let me just pop these right here back in their lines here. So that's a little bit outside of the lines. So if I put it back in the lines, it kind of holds, and that's okay. There, All right, so I showed you guys this right here before. Yep, not terrible. All right, that right there was not terrible, but let me just go here a little bit. Go here. All right, right there. Okay, good. All right, this right here was pretty good too. Now, it might be a little weird with the teeth there, but don't worry, we'll get all that stuff there sorted out soon enough. Now, I do want to go in here and select white. All right, 7:14. Again, I have to take a bathroom break pretty soon. All right, so we need to put his dress shirt there, right? All right, so I'm good there. Yep. All right, that works. Let's put a little bit of here, white there, a little bit of white there. Okay, a little bit of white here. Let's put this part here with his shirt here. Okay, that sort of works. All right, let's go here. We want to make this a little bit kind of, there we go. All right, there we go. Let's go here. There we go. So you see how that's kind of allowing the guy's plaid cloak to show through a little bit more prominently. All right, now let's go here. Put this down. All right. All right, that's not bad. So now here's where it gets interesting. Let me take just a little bit of this here, and I'm just gonna lighten it. See how I can take that edge there so it separates everything. All right, so we're good there. Now what I need to do, all right, I'm good there. I'm good there. All right, the only thing is in this part here is where it's a little weird. It's little weird. All right, let me go here. Okay, that's interesting. I think, hold on. No, we didn't want that. We wanted this one. Yeah, that's something about this guy's face here that works. Doggone it. Yeah, but I mean, it's not that bad. It's his face here, because you can see his face there a little bit better. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to erase here. There we go. So now you can see his face a little bit better. Yes. And then we're going to take a little dark gray here. Sorry. Dark gray. I want to go here to the airbrush, because the airbrush is really good about putting these kind of softer tones in. Okay. There we go. All right, let's see here. There we go. All right. Not terrible. Not terrible. All right, let's go here. Good here. Now we need to get right here in this section here. That one right there is a little bit standoffish. Nope. All right, there we go. Now here's where we go right off of here. There we go. There we go. Little white. All right, so we got a kind of an interesting look here, but let's go here a little brown right there. There we go. Let's turn that a little bit there. All righty. Darker here. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to take this tool here and watch what happens. See, I moved that stuff back in. Those outlines. Oops. There we go. All right. Not terrible. Not terrible. All right. Now, we need to go right off in here. We need to tone this part so that this guy here in this cloak here will stand out. All right. Yep, that looks pretty good there to me. Let's go here a little bit darker. Yep, there we go. Let's put in a little scan here. Scan here. Okay, we're good there. And let's take a little brown here. All right, we're good there. Alrighty. I kind of like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with highlights. And we will probably go in with a completely different set of highlights here. Yep. And we'll take a sharp pen here just to add a little bit. Whoops. Before we do that, though, let's not forget that we have a little stuff out of whack here. Little stuff out of whack. Okay. All right, good. Now let's start moving some of these things. You'll see what I'm saying here. See? It's like when that stuff is overlaid, it looks a little foggy or cloudy, but once you pop it back into place, it kind of works. See how that works there? And what it is that abstraction adds a little flavor to it. That's what it does. See? Right off in there. Yep. That abstraction adds a little four-color flavor to it. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yep. Right there. Okay. Not terrible. All right, now the thing I love about this is that what it does, it retains the flavor of my drawing, It adds rendering in this. Like for me to have done this manually would have taken, God, a day. Here I've been working on this. How long have I been streaming now? For 2 hours, 15 minutes. I've been on this for about an hour. Right. And I did basically tone an entire page of 9 panels. And I didn't just not only toned it, I redrew quite a bit of it. Had the tones in there, and now I'm about to drop in the overlay. So yeah, and there's some other stuff I got going here that you guys don't know about yet, but it's coming. It's coming just in the next few minutes. So let's just, again, for anyone who doesn't know, Hi John is a comic for grown folks. It is not for young children. It's never meant for young children. All right, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to take here a little, just a little red here. And I'll show you why, because there's a little sunset going on down here. I think I'm going to take this pen here. All right, so let's zoom out here. See what's happening? Now, right now, that line is quite hard, quite harsh. But that's okay, because we can just move a few things around. There we go. See? There we go. There we go. All right. Look at that. There we go. All right, so you see what's happening there? See what's happening? Now, watch this. If I go here, I can take an airbrush, because right now that line is too harsh. If I take a line here, see, slight airbrush, I can bump that down there so it's not as harsh, but it holds the line. See? See what it does? So it's not as harsh. And that's a quick way to add highlights on stuff without, trying to go in and kill yourself doing all this crap. All right, nice. So we have that there. I'm good there, but I think what I want to do here is go here. Let me do one thing here I got to do. Yep. All right, let's go here. That's going to be white. You'll see, guys are going to see what I'm going to do in just a moment here. I'm going to go here. Yep, there we go. See? See what happens? Do that type of thing there. Now, in this particular case here, we're going to take this kind of darker tone, because we want that tie is supposed to be darker, like that. A little bit more here. There we go. See? Boop. Just a little bit there. A little bit there. All right, now watch this. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna take a little bit of kind of lavender because that's his whole shtick. Well, it's not his whole shtick, it's just what he's wearing here. Okay, good. Nice. Nice. Let's go here, dark. There we go. Nice. So now, what I can do is this. I can now take that kind of little thing right there, and I can now go in with this right here. And what I'm going to do here, just do this. No, it should be a little bit lighter. So you see what's happening? So now, there we go. Whoops. What happened there? Alrighty. Okay. All right, not bad. Not bad. So now we go in with airbrush. Eraser. Whoops. Oh no. Did that on the wrong layer. Damn it. Hate that. It's okay. I could go back and redo it, but you know, why do that when we can just do this? Smooth it out on our own. There we go. There we go. See? Ooh. Yes. All right. That's good. So now we need to do this one here, but this one we're going to go back to the layer we were supposed to be at right there. Sorry. All right, now we can go in and we can do this. See? All right, let's go in here, tweak this. All right. Not bad. All right, there we go. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let me go in here and do a little bit of tweaking off in here. All right, there we go. Not terrible. Let's go here. There we go. All right, one thing we did not do here is we didn't darken that suit, but we're going to do that right now. There we go. All right. All right, there we go. See? Now I'm good with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here, back up to this guy. I'll even take a sharper point here. All right. All right, let's see here. Hold on one second, folks. All right, it's 7:36 Eastern Standard Time. All right. All right, folks. Let me. I think I need to take a break on this here. All right. Let me. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Whoops. Hold on. 1 second. What's going on here? Let's get right back there. Okay, I don't know why that's acting weird, but that's okay. We'll just go with our main talk here for now. Yeah, I could not hold it any longer. I had to adjust because I had to go to a bathroom break. Hey, man, what do you want from me? All right, so gonna go here. There we go. See? I don't like to overdo this type of stuff here. I think highlights. This is why I put in the you kind of have to bump these things down, right? You want to bump them down. Definitely want to bump them down. And again, what I'm doing with this, I am intentionally not trying to over render these things. I'm intentionally not trying to over render these things. I don't want to over render them. All right, there we go. All right, I think I'm pretty good on most of these things here. The only thing I don't have is there we go. All right, that's good. See, I don't want it too bad on this one. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, we got to do this one here. Alrighty. Whoops. And we can, there we go. See? Just a little bit. All right, so we've got that. Now, watch what we're going to do here very quickly. All right. Not terrible. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through this here. It's going to erase. See how we're bumping it down? You bump those highlights down, they kind of fall up just a little bit. And they're not as harsh, but they still hold the line. See? All right. So we're good there, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. I could, and I've spent almost the entire session working on this. You might ask, why am I doing that? It's because once I'm finished with this, I don't have to worry about Hydra until the weekend. It basically would be done. So maybe, because I need to get some work done on the Comet, I need to get some work done on Black Prince, all these type of things. Even though Black Prince is going to be a little weird this week, we've had some postponements on our production week, but because there's everybody has a lot of stuff going on. Now I got this thing going on this week, so we will see. Trying my best to do better to stay hydrated, folks. All right. This is not bad. I don't mind that. Let's see here. So this is good. I really kind of like that. But, it's missing that one element that you guys will see what it is in just a moment. All right. So let's go here. All right. So we see our swords here. See our swords? Right? We see our swords. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take like that, right? And then here, yeah, that'll work fine. In fact, we'll do this one here. We'll make that black, and we'll make this one right here gold. Because I could, in theory, just keep getting pieces of this stuff, but that's really laborious. So I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this. Whoops. Probably helps to get our tool here. So we see the way this looks here, right? So what we want is this. Make that bigger point. Okay, there we go. All right, not bad. Now you might say, what in the world is he doing there? But it's okay. So I don't need it there. I need it here though. I'm gonna go here and go here right there and pull that on around there. See what's happening? So instead of having to draw this stuff out like a madman every time, I can just take see, I can just do it like that. So I don't have to worry about this one. This one here is going to be a little interesting. So we're going to take this, goes out here, that one there goes right there, right here. Okay, there we go. All right, watch this. I'm gonna take this, whoops, I'm gonna take this just like that, right? And then here, take it just like this. See? All right, this is good. Wait. Ah, doggone it. Well, actually, not bad. This is why we do it like this. This is why we do it like this. We're going to erase the bottoms here because what he's done is turn the swords over. Like so. Now, this goes here. And this one here goes right there. Alrighty. Now here, be the same thing. Very similar. All right, now I'm now going to go to airbrush. We're going to go to shadow and watch what's going to happen here. And this is I'm doing all this because it's going to save time, right? Shadow, see? Yep. See? See what's happening? Don't want to overdo it, but we don't want to underdo it either. All right, there we go. Oh wow, look at that. That's so much faster. Oh my God. We'll be doing it like this from here on out. All right, we got to do one other thing here. We got to go back here because this should be like this. Is that right? Yes, like that. And then we go back here and we will take this with a shadow. All right, same thing here, see? And here the great thing is we can do this if we want. This is just a kind of a shadow tool, okay? Oh wow, look at that. Very quickly. See, that's what I love about digital. Now, even though I'm doing this, I think anyone who has sat here and watched this would go like, wow, it's really, actually, in fact, quite a bit of work that you have to do, because you still got to paint. There's no escape from this stuff. You still got to paint, guys. You still have to paint. You still have to paint. You have to paint. You don't paint, then you're not getting there. All right, now, that's good. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a very light guy here, and this time, well, no, we're not going to do that. So we're going to call this handles. Handles. All right, now we're going to do another one here. This one's going to be called blades. All right, now let's see what we can do. We're going to go here. I'm going to select all of these guys here, which is great. Feel good about that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tool here. All right, so you can see here, I've very quickly kind of drawn these blades in there, which is pretty cool. I'll just do a little bit of touch up here. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to see. Now, right now, they look like damn lightsabers. That's not what we want. But that's okay, because that's why we can now come in here and do this. So I've selected all of these swords here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a brush. I'm going to go in with a little shadow work here. Whoops. Should probably a little bit gray. See? Right? Yep. And then we're going to take a little white. We're going to go to highlight here. All right, good. So, yeah, that looks pretty freaking awesome. I like that. Now, only thing we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our handles here. We're going to do this. See? So we got that. Now, we're going to take our thing here. Here's where it gets a little weird. Here's where it gets a little weird, people. We're going to take a little green here. It's going to be really, really weird. But watch what I'm going to do here. Now we're going to take our spray droplets. All righty. Woo, yeah. And do this here. Green blood. Right? Ah, yeah, there we go. It's like Kurosawa. It's like Kurosawa, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. And we will. There we go. Let's do this here. Whoops. Oh my God. I'm suddenly realizing I'm working and you guys aren't seeing the screen. Oh my God. I apologize about that. What in the world? I've been doing this for the last, 10 minutes? Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry. You're like, what is he talking about? Green blood. Hey, I'm in the zone, man. Anyway, so as you can see here, there's a lot of green blood. All right, now let me just erase here a little bit. Erase there. Okay, good. We can do that by hand, because why not? All righty. That does not look bad. Let's see, my camera here is acting a little weird, but that's okay. Okay. Now, we're going to hit Command U. Here we go. Let's change the hue right there. Let's go saturation. We don't want scarlet. We need a... let's see here. Let's make sure. I want this to be red. Red. All right, let's take it to red here. Let's take it to red. All right, right there is good. But we want to take that luminosity down. There we go. Yep, yep, yep. That's pretty damn bloody. But it's okay. That's what it's called. High John Conqueror. All right, now we're going to do one more thing on this layer here, and then we're going to pocket this guy up. I want to take an airbrush here. Oops. Should probably right there. All right, right now it's set to droplets, but we want to go to soft. Okay. There we go. Now I want to set these right here to glow dodge. Nope. Glow dodge? No, add glow. There we go. And we're going to bump these down. There we go. All right, great. Guess what? This particular image here page is done. Now we need to go back and handle a little business on the other page here. 2 images. Then we get ready to do that, and that will be a week's worth of stuff done. This one right here is pretty good. I mean, I like the swords. I was thinking about just using 3D swords, but it's really tedious. It's so much easier just to do it the way I was doing it there. But what I'm going to do here now, because I believe I can, is I'm going to create a folder here. And all of these guys here are going to go in here. So that is, yes, that's that entire page there. Good. So we got that. Now we need to take care of this guy here. Let's go and get this done right there. Okay, so we got the background there. I'm really liking the way that looks. I think it has a lot of energy and soul and heart, and you know, the most important thing for me was to give my readers, viewers, the opportunity to, you know, it's when you're doing retro Afrofuturism, you're dealing with atrocities very often that happened in the past, and so what that means is sometimes you gotta, you know, kind of to reclaim place and position, you have to do things that are not as easy. And what that means sometimes is doing things that are not fun. In this particular case here, showing a bit of retribution, as you are, visceral retribution. Now, I would not be surprised if this stuff got banned, because you know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. But hey, I'm not a martial artist, but I'm an action guy. I like to show the sequences where there's so much, you know, action and, you know, that type of thing. You know, because you know he's laying these guys low. That's what he's doing. All right, now this one here is where it gets a little weird, and I'll explain to you. In this 802, I am hungry here. All right, now I would say let's turn off. Oh, this part of me wants to keep that sword the way it is, but you know what we're gonna do? I like this sword. I don't like that sword because it's too big. But I do like parts of it. Okay, let's keep going here. We got this here. All right, so what I'm going to do here, take that and take this. I'm going to take these two guys here. I'm going to merge them together. All right, so these are the swords that he's carrying there. Now, the one issue that you can have with these particular swords is that they look like cutouts. And the only way to fix that is to make them not look like cutouts. So I'm going to go here, that dark there, and then here will be a light. And I'm going to do it with an airbrush, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Oh, wrong thing. Right here. There we go. There. All right, here, this part here. There we go. Boop. All right, now I think I can live with that. All right, now let's take this here. There we go. See? And we'll go here on this side here. Let's make this a little bit darker there, because we want those swords to kind of like be silhouetted on this. Now we will go here and we will do this. There we go. Whoops. Not too much. Take it easy, buddy. Okay. All right. There we go. Not bad. Now let's take a little bit of hard here. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, great. So that one right there is pretty much done. It's kind of weird, I know, a little bit, but you know what? Let me do one thing here. I'm gonna take. All right, let's go here. 1 second. Yes, we want to go to. Hello, Riley Wilson. How you doing? Good to see you. I think I'm gonna go here. Just do one little weird kind of thing that might help, might not. But we shall see what it does. Gotta go here. There we go. See? So we add these highlights on here. So hopefully what the highlights are doing is kind of making this guy stand out a little bit. And I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for sufficiently emotive enough. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Alrighty. Now, I'm good with this, with the top layer. It's not perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need to be close enough. Right? I'm not trying to do that kind of show here. I'm trying to do a show that's going to have some heart, you know, a little blood and guts, which it seems like we got that going now, and we're great. Alrighty. Let me go check with my stream here. I haven't checked with my stream in a bit. Let's see here. Alrighty, we're good there. YouTube is still going. Been going now for 2 hours and 59 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is get ready to shut this down. I don't want to go over 3 hours. So after a while, it gets a little tedious doing this type of stuff, man. As a matter of fact, we will say that it is now 2:59:55, and I will continue on this. And this stuff here will go live for the rest of the week. I do have some editing I need to do, which I can do. It's down to where a little word captions and stuff and things will, you know, will go for tomorrow, then day after that, and then the day after that, all the way to Friday, and then we will be somewhere else come next week, which is great. You guys are awesome. Went for 3 hours a day. The time kind of got away from me. There are points where I think I should just stream all day. Sometimes I think I should just stream all day. Why even bother not to stream? Because you guys have basically been watching me do the work. I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. I mean, there's a part of me that feels like, well, I'm streaming too late in the day. You know, I'm streaming too early. It's like maybe I just need to start streaming and just don't worry about the rest of it. Just stream, man. Do what you got to do. All right? Anyway, that's where we are. You guys are awesome. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Wow.